Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we have finally completed the defense class. So all the defense class free to play ninjutsus have been completed, and now we're moving on to the healer free to play ninjutsus. So let's start this off with possibly the most OP ninjutsu, and one that we haven't seen before because its utility is completely different. So Paralysis Jutsu is a jutsu that has an 8-second long cooldown, has a power of 0, and has a range of 4. And essentially, it summons a small bubble to exactly where they are, it disables their use of substitution, and the next hit that they take will be increased in damage. Now, why is this so powerful, you may ask? Because it goes through Sand Shield, it goes through Water Pillar, it goes through Hyper Armor, it goes through Susanoo, and it can go ahead and stop someone mid ninjutsu. It goes through blocks and essentially has the lowest cooldown that you could imagine for something so damn useful and, fast. So, because it's a little bubble like that, and especially works well when people are fighting each other, it's quite strong. Very strong, in fact. And because of how fast it is, someone could just barely recover their substitution, and you could hit them again with it, and then kill them possibly, especially if you have the right weapon or the right ninjutsus for it. And, it's kind of broken, right? And I feel it needs to change, but at the same time, it is one of my most beloved ninjutsus that I use for some of my builds. At the same time, I admit that it's a very broken ninjutsu because it makes being a healer like an OP version of an attacker and a range class. So, kind of defeats the whole purpose of having multiple different classes almost. But yeah, in terms of fighting anyway. But I do feel like, healers kind of are less of a glass cannon and more so are like tanks with glass cannon damage, which is crazy. But yeah, they technically are still glass cannons because of the fact that people can still target them for being a healer. So, there's that in combat battles and stuff, and normal base battles and such. But anyway, yeah, Paralysis Jutsu just goes through absolutely everything. Can be used in the air, can be used on the ground. It's more of an instantaneous thing rather than something that you can hold and prepare for. So, you just use it whenever you see the opportunity. But yeah, it's just crazy. Because, someone could be using a ninjutsu and you could just paralyze them while they're doing it, and then it just completely nullifies the fact that they just did that. So, you make them waste an entire ninjutsu and you lock their substitution away for an entire combo's worth, which is quite a lot. But yeah, I'd say, maybe remove the sublock, but at the same time, I don't want to give healers nothing, because healers genuinely don't have anything to prevent subs. They really don't. It used to be Crimson Drizzle, but now that's been taken away. So healers have even less sub locks than range even. Range even has more sub locks than them, which is just like what, 2. So yeah, it's kind of absurd that some classes don't have sub locks. Meanwhile, attackers have a fuck ton of sub locks, and defense technically can force sublocks as well, in a way. But yeah, it's quite dumb. It is quite strong, and if you use it by itself, it's only gonna, like, without locking on, it only has a certain range, and when you're locked onto a target, you can do it from pretty much across the map. As long as you can lock onto them, you can hit them with paralyzing jutsu, so there's no real limit. You can do it for walls, and, pretty much everything. There's just, like, no limit to it, to be honest. So, this is what we call like a phase attack, or the spear attack. I don't know. I don't know if anyone would call it a spear attack. Maybe just me. But like a phase through attack, an invulnerable attack, because even when you think you're invulnerable, you are. So I suppose that's the definition. I don't know. I don't know what to really call it. There isn't really a word to call it by, but it's being used by. Paralysis Jutsu has been used by meta users for a little while now recently, and it's been quite toxic because they use the whip sword and then they just keep spamming the triangle over and over again and then just killing you. And by the time you can recover, they've already used Paralysis Jutsu to just get rid of that. So anyway, see you later. Peace.